Hi guys, this is Lalana. Thank you for tuning into the Sovereign Path. So today we're going to talk about Twin Flame Ascension. What exactly is Twin Flame Ascension? When we're talking about that, what do I actually mean? What are you coming across if you're beginning on this path and wondering if you're a twin flame? What does it mean to be going through an ascension process? What does it mean if you're going through an awakening? So this is a really important topic to hit on. I think pretty much everything that I'm going to be talking about on this channel is going to be really important aspects to assist you guys down the path. Ascension being first and foremost the most important one, because as I've said in my other content on other social media channels for years now, if you're not ascending, then you're not on a twin flame path. It doesn't mean that you're not a twin flame. It just means that you haven't embarked upon the twin flame path at this point on your journey in your life. Twin flames are here to ascend. That is the main reason that a twin flame incarnates into the third dimensional reality, is for that twin, this twin, to assist one another, which is the one energy, the one soul, two bodies, to assist itself to awaken out of the separation of the third dimensional programming, to awaken out of the false belief systems, the inner child woundings, the ancestral karma, the programmings from television, from songs, from books, from all of these indoctrinations. Ascension and awakening is coming out of that. It is breaking down the false illusion of self, which ego carries and which ego loves to hold on to with all its might, is convincing you that you are it, that you are ego, and that you are the beliefs that you have, the programs that you run, and the imprints that you have taken on since childhood. So the ascension process is here to eradicate all of that, to break all of that loose, to break all of that free, and to literally shift you out of the matrix, to shift you out of the third dimension and back into the fifth dimension and above, which is your true nature as an eternal being, as an eternal soul. So we're here experiencing separation in the third dimensional reality. This is basically like a learning experience, right? This is for soul growth. This is for soul expansion. This is for the soul to experience the density here in the third dimensional reality. We have to descend to experience life here on Earth. This is a descension process. Once we have gone through the descension process for long enough and learned the lessons and had the expansion and the growth, that whatever the soul is here to learn and whatever the soul is here to do, then it's time to ascend back out of it, right? So twin flames are doing exactly that. The idea that there are millions of twin flames on the planet incarnate right now is simply an unlikely prospect, due to the fact that this would mean that thousands and thousands and millions of people are ascending and awakening in this time of now on Earth. So we have a lot going on right now on Earth in regard to people becoming more aware, people becoming more conscious, people having an idea of what's actually going on behind the scenes. And these are steps toward a higher consciousness for humanity on Earth. And that's a very positive direction that we're going. But having a higher awareness and coming into more consciousness is not the same as going through an awakening or going through an ascension process. These are one and the same. This is an alchemizing of coming out of the lower base chakra system, the 7 chakras, and coming into the embodiment of the 12th chakra system. So as that happens, your system, the human system, which is a carbon-based system, which is a very heavy laden system to be able to navigate the third dimensional reality, as I said, descension, going in through a carbon-based system. As you go through ascension and as you go through awakening, as all the programs start to crumble, your identity starts to fall away. You don't identify with the traumas, the karmas, the pains, and you're actually not living that life anymore that you used to based on those belief systems. Your energetic system shifts from a heavy carbon-based system into a crystalline-based system. So this takes a lot of time to do. This takes a lot of energetic clearing to do. It takes a lot of energetic holding to be able to hold this new frequency that you are and that you've always been, but you're here in a human vessel experiencing this reality. And so this is literally turning lead into gold. This is a process of coming out of what I usually call the heaviness, the junk, the congestion, the chaos, the confusion, and all of these things that the third dimensional reality runs on, and coming back into oneness, unity, unconditionality, love, alignment, resonance, all of these things with your true self, with God, source, universe, creation, right? This is the ascension process. It's coming out of who you believe that you have always been and coming back into who you actually are, right? It's coming back into union with self. It's coming back into union with God, source, universe, creation. And as I've said in my other videos, it doesn't mean that you were ever out of union. It means that the belief systems and the amnesic state that you took on when you incarnated into the third dimensional reality had you believing that you weren't in union anymore, right? That's part of the experience here, is separation, believing that we are separate from source, believing that we have been somehow abandoned. There's a large abandonment wound when we incarnate into the third dimensional reality, due to the fact that now we can't feel that connection that we're used to feeling with source. That's part of the deal here, for us to be able to actually navigate and live this life as if this is who we are, as if separation is who we are, as if, you know, the egoic self is the true reality. That's the experience that we came here to have as souls. So ascension and awakening means breaking free of that, breaking out of that. And that is literally what the twin is incarnate here to do, is to assist you to break out of the illusion that you are separate and that you are your programs and your beliefs and your ego and all of these things, and come back up into unity, to come back up into wholeness, to come back up into oneness, to have your vibration rise from a lower based chakra system into the higher based chakra system, into a higher energetic frequency, fifth dimensional reality and beyond. So it's important that we really come at the twin flame journey with this in mind, first and foremost and always in the front. And that is that the twin flame path is not a romantic relationship. The twin flame path is a dynamic, it is a connection, it is an energetic one soul connection. It is yourself interfacing with yourself in the third dimensional reality in order to pull yourself out of the third dimensional reality. So sacred union is what the aim is for twin flames. We hear sacred union a lot, divine union, all of those sort of things. And as I said in one of my other videos, to come into sacred union with your divine masculine, with your divine feminine, the divine feminine has to come into union with self first. You cannot come into union with self if you're not on ascension path. So this is not a path of the mind. This is not a decision that you can make to ascend. We can't make a decision to awaken. That would be an ego choice, and ego is separation and is not running the show in your ascension process. Your higher self is running this entire process. Your soul family, your monad soul, your oversoul is overseeing all of the processes that you're going through in the third dimensional reality. So when we're talking about sacred union and we're talking about coming into that merge of souls that you always hear everybody talking about on the twin flame path, what we need to understand is that that is one unified field, right? You and your twin share an energetic system that cannot be separated. In the third dimensional reality, it looks and feels like it's separated because that's the experience that we're here having. And so since we're having that experience, each soul, even though it's one soul, but it looks like it's two different people, has to go through their experiences to come back into inner union with self. So the feminine has to come back into union with self, the masculine has to come back into union with self, right? So this means that each individual looks like an individual. It's actually still one soul, two bodies, have taken on their own karmas, right? Their own traumas, their own belief systems, their own programmings, all of these sort of things. And so as the feminine goes down this ascension path and she's breaking free from all of these programs, from all of these beliefs, she's breaking free from ego. She's breaking out of the false identification of self, breaking out of the third dimensional reality and coming back into inner union with self. The masculine also has to go through his own process or her own process in that way, right? So until both sides of this unit, right, both sides of this unified field, after taking on these karmas and these traumas and these beliefs, they still have to come into union as one, right, as each individual, before they can merge back into that higher consciousness that sacred union is, right? That's where sacred union takes place. It's the only place that it can take place is in the higher vibratory states, in the fifth dimensional realities and above. Because in the third dimensional reality, we view the twin flame dynamic as a relationship. And we see it as the old template of relationships and the way that relationships have always been in our lives. And so we want the twin to fit into the mold that we have a belief around this is what a relationship looks like, this is how a relationship is defined, this is what it's supposed to do. And so if it's not doing that, then I don't understand what it is doing, right? And this is where so many twin flames struggle. This is why this path gets so confused and muddled, and people don't know which direction they're going and how to navigate it. Because the majority of people on the twin flame path are coming at the twin flame as if that is a normal traditional relationship based in the third dimensional reality, and it isn't. It isn't, and it can't be. Because twin flames are here to set the stage for sacred union to be birthed on new earth, which means they are holding the blueprint to basically banish the old third dimensional relationship template that's been running for so long, which is telling you things from lyrics or saying like, I could never be by myself. You know, if I lose you, I'm gonna like, whatever, all of those sort of things, right? And they're in lyrics, they're in movies. It's sold. It's like a bought and sold thing that is saying that type of love is the only type of love that there is. And if I don't have that type of love, then I need it, right? Then something is missing, that I'm not whole or complete or and all of those sort of things. So that's a learned behavior in the third dimensional reality. And that behavior and that belief becomes a program that just naturally runs on autopilot, right, in our subconscious mind. So the twin flames hold a template to break that old relationship template, that old relationship dynamic, and to create the new template, which isn't new, it's actually ancient, of sacred union, right? So sacred union, as I said, can only exist in the higher vibratory realms, which means if you're chasing the twin flame and hoping for a third dimensional relationship, that actually isn't what this path is. And I know that that triggers a lot of people, and as I've said in one of my other videos, I know a lot of the things I'm gonna say are gonna trigger people. And I apologize for that on the one hand, and then on the other hand, please know that everything that I'm sharing is coming from my heart, and it's coming from the best, highest potential and best outcome for everyone on the other side of this camera. I have been where you are. I know where you are. I get it. I get it. I get it. This is why I talk about twin flames a lot, because this is a very difficult path to navigate. And the more tools we have, I won't say the easier it is, but the more navigable it becomes, the more tools that we have and the more we understand it. And right now, and over the last several years, the twin flame phenomena has sort of gotten so big, and it's kind of gone in the completely opposite direction of what it actually is. And so a lot of twin flames who are talking about these things, who are saying one thing and other twins are saying another thing, it can be very confusing on what is right, what is wrong, where you're at, all of these sorts of things. And so it's my honor to assist you guys, as I've said before, and I'm doing this from my heart and from a soul-led place. The twin flame path is an ascension path. It is to break you free from the third dimensional reality and all the things that have made you feel like you need to chase love, the things that make you feel like you've been abandoned by love, betrayed by love, that love sucks, that, guys are this way or girls are that way. All of those are programs. They're all programs, and they all keep us stuck in a belief system that has us running lack and fear and hoping that we're gonna next time create something better, or maybe this time this relationship will work out. All of those sort of things are based on programs and wounds that most of us have been carrying all of our lives, past lifetimes, and have been dragging along with ancestral bloodlines and ancestral karma for however many lifetimes ago. The ascension path is to break you free from that. That alone is like one of the, if not the most massive gifts we could possibly be given in this reality. And the twin flame is here to facilitate that. So I've said in other videos, the twin flame is your greatest teacher on this path. The triggers are the gold mines on this path. They are going to break you free from these patterns that are saying, Lalana, I want to have a romantic relationship with my twin flame. What the hell are you talking about? You don't know what you're saying. Right? I used to say that too. I used to be there too. This shit used to piss me off when I used to hear people talking about this stuff. Years ago, it used to make me so angry. And it was because my ego self and my inner child wounds were so inflamed, things were so unhealed within me, that anything that anybody said that would potentially feel like it could cause me an abandonment issue, a betrayal issue, a lack of love, a feeling of being lost, was like an immediate, I'm pissed, get out of my face, I don't want to hear it, I don't want to hear it, right? It's that immediate back off. So if you're on the other side of the camera feeling like that, I get it, I understand completely, right? And at the same time, I'm here to let you guys feel what you need to feel. And when the triggers come up, I'm here to assist you guys by showing you that when you're being triggered, it means that something within you is screaming out for help. It means something within you is not healed. And I know how painful that is. I do. So again, I'm here to help you guys. And that makes me emotional. So back to my point here is that the twin flame path, we want it, and I was in that place too, we want it to be that person, that romantic relationship, this XYZ of whatever I have going on in my beliefs of saying, this is what I want, this is what I'm told is going to happen. The twin flame is the best lover and the best thing and the best all these sort of things. And yes, it's hard, but it's still the best, right? A lot of twin flame coaches are teaching that. And that gets us tripped up and turned around and backwards, and it keeps you in a lack frequency. It keeps you feeling like, well, as soon as I do this thing, then we'll be back in union. And as soon as I do this thing, then, this is going to happen. And so it's still perpetuating that energy of you're chasing it, and you're chasing it, and you're chasing it. And as per law of attraction, whatever I'm holding within me and putting out, I am manifesting in my world and seeing in my external reality all over the place. So if I believe that the twin flame dynamic is this fantasy romantic thing in the third dimensional reality, if I believe that, then that's how it's going to keep showing up, as this sort of dysfunctional, triggering, why are we not getting any headway? Why does it keep going back and forth and up and down? Why are we in and out of separation? Because this isn't a third dimensional concept. And I know that that's a broad, thing for a lot of people, which is why I always am reverting back to saying the same sort of things over and over again. This is an ascension process. And an ascension process and an alchemy process, an awakening process, these are all one and the same with slight variations, break you free from the 3D. Until you're broken out of the third dimensional reality where you're not running all of these programs anymore, coming into union with self is not possible. And if we can't come into union with self again and remember who we are as our higher self, then we can't come into union with our twin flame. We can't come into union because they're still running the programs in the 3D as well. And so if they're running the programs and you're running the programs and you're both trying to kind of go back and forth and all over the place, but nobody's really dealing with what's going on within them, and nobody is shifting into the higher aspects of self and the embodiment of higher self and coming back into union with God's source creation, where sacred union exists, it's the only place sacred union exists, then we'll never get there. That's why I talk about this stuff. So I've been talking about this stuff for years. I took a break for a while, for a couple years, stepped away from my old YouTube channel, stepped away from coaching for a while because I was in the depths and the throes of living with my twin flame. And when you're in that kind of situation, there's no navigating and there's no hiding from it, there's no running from it. It's just me and me and me and me and me, constantly seeing myself, constantly. And I had to take that time just for me to not do all of these things. It's been a few years from then that happened. And I'm still coming back on these channels talking about this stuff over and over again because it's so important not only for you to break free of all of these things and come into inner union, it's the freedom that you're actually seeking, right? That's the thing. We look over there and we see the twin and we want to be with them and we pine for them and we yearn for them and we hope for them. And what we're missing, what we're not understanding and realizing is what you're actually missing and pining for and hoping for is union back to source. That's what you miss. That's what you feel abandoned from. And your twin flame, who is you, who is your same energetic frequency, is representative of source to you. They're representative of the universe for you. Right? Why? Because energetically, you're still vibrating in the higher aspects. You're still vibrating in the higher realms, right? You can feel that energy. Anyone who's on a true twin flame journey and goes into separation will tell you, you can feel your twin flame much stronger when you're in separation and you're away from each other, or even if you're on vacation and you're away from each other, than you feel them energetically when you're in the same room. So let's explain that. This is an energetic connection. It's not a physical connection. It shows up in a physical way because it's assisting you to break free from all the junk, right? So once you come back into inner union with self, then you've shifted out of the 3D and then you've shifted into the 5D. Some people have shifted higher than that, right? That's where sacred union exists. And that's where you can come back into union with your divine masculine if they've also been doing the work and come back into union with self. That's why inner union is paramount on this journey. Not so you can be chasing it to come back into union with your divine masculine or your divine feminine. It's because you're coming back into union with you. You're not running all of these programs anymore. You don't feel shitty anymore. You don't feel like you have to chase anybody anymore. You're just in a very contented, peaceful, loving place, which is who you've always been. You know, it's an amazing thing to go through this process. I did another video that said, is it worth it? Is the twin flame path worth it? Is it worth it to go through all of this? It's worth it. It is worth it to go through all of this. So my point of this video is, as I said, ascension, ascension, ascension is the name of the game on the twin flame path, right? Awakening, dark night of the soul, ego death, alchemy. These are the names of the game on this path. One unified field, one energetic system that is constantly interacting and affecting itself. The thing about the twin flame path is that we need to really wrap our head around, and it's not our head because the mind can't understand this and the ego will never be able to understand it. So if you try to explain it to somebody else that's not on the path, they're never going to get it. They're going to think you're crazy, or you're going to think that whatever they're going to think, right? This is an energetic connection. This is a soul connection. This is way bigger than most of us realize or can comprehend, coming from a physical aspect of self. We are multidimensional beings. This isn't it. This isn't the only aspect or avatar of you. You have a lot of them. You have a lot of them. So coming out of this restricted aspect of you and who you believe that you are is what the ascension process is all about. Coming back into union is what the ascension process is all about. Coming into sacred union is also what this ascension process is about. But in order to achieve that, you have to get to a point where you are no longer thinking that your twin flame, who is you incarnate, is the ultimate goal or the ultimate prize or the ultimate get. The twin flame, and I talk about this in my other video, why the masculine runs or the masculine is detaching, both of those. The masculine is detaching and he's pushing the feminine away to make you break free of these programs. That's why. To make you break free of the attachment that's the prize and that's the get. When we're doing that, we're putting them on a pedestal. When we're putting something on a pedestal, we're automatically putting it out of reach and we're automatically putting ourselves in a position of lack. This is about reclaiming your sovereignty. It's about reclaiming, if you're a divine feminine, your divine feminine essence. It's about reclaiming the goddess that is you. And not in a bad bitch way, not in a I don't need anybody way, in a very high vibratory, I'm not even existing in the third dimensional reality way. I'm existing in the fifth dimensional reality and above, and I am back in union with self and back in union with God, source, creation, universe, and my entire world shows up around me as abundance and as love, because that's who I am. That's who I've always been. That's what the twin is here assisting you to do. This is a very, grand sort of experience, grand project here that twin flames have taken on Earth. So yeah, happy ascending, guys. That's what I have for you. I hope that helps. You guys have an awesome day.